Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So I was playing around with ChatGPT and wanted to share a different workflow that I have been using to create children's books lately. It's much faster and with characters that are more consistent in their appearance throughout the book. I'm still in the process of updating and further configuring this character consistency AI tool which I'll be using. For those that are watching for the first time, I mainly use Midjourney, but with the latest updates I have started using DALL-E 3, which is inside of ChatGPT now. I also rely on Photoshop or Canva for editing some of the illustrations, the cover and the final layouts of the book. So in today's video I want to share a simple solution to something that I'm sure many of you have experienced with ChatGPT. I will show you how I work around ChatGPT's inability to remember the appearance of a character the longer the conversation is going. This is something that has been pointed out, and it is the same if you use it to write long articles or feed long documents. I saw in one of Matt Wolf's videos that a group had run a study and found that ChatGPT remembers the beginning and the end of a long conversation much better than the middle part. So here's my workflow for some of the books that I have been creating lately. So I start off by creating a description for our character before writing the story itself. You will find out in a minute why that can be really powerful if you're into creating high quality books faster. I started the conversation by telling it that I need various poses and expressions of my character. As usual, it replies by asking me for the appearance of the character. So for the purpose of today's video, I have told it to generate these for me, and the only thing that I want is that it resembles a 9-year-old young Asian boy. I asked it to write me the description of our character before it generates the images. This is good for a few reasons. We can copy and edit it however we want for the future generations. Another reason is that if ChatGPT writes it down, it is more likely to remember it, and you can also give the entire description a name so that you can use it as a reference further down in the conversation. Now here's what we got, and this looks good. This is where the fun stuff begins. Here's what I do. I tell it to keep the same gen ID, seed and style and create our 9-year-old boy in other poses and scenes. Now it confirms that it understands we would like to maintain consistency and asks for which poses and scenes we'd like. You can edit all of these for yourself if you have a specific scene or pose in mind. I just told it to choose for itself and reminded it to keep the same character. Now we got this interesting image. I like all of these except the head of the one here where he is playing soccer. This can easily be solved with Photoshop in multiple ways. A quick fix to this can be by replacing the head with one that we like. Another solution is to just change the color of the hair, as the rest looks similar to our character. There we go. Learning Photoshop is a good idea, and knowing that you can edit images and illustrations, aligning it with your vision is a great complement to these AI tools. Now let's move on so that I can show you how to generate even more outputs in one single generation. As you might have experienced lately, ChatGPT has been really stingy when it comes to generations. It tries really hard to generate only one image at a time, and hitting the message gap is really annoying. So to get more results with each generation, I tell it to make the images horizontal and give us as many outputs of our character as possible. And as you see here, it does give us more poses and expressions of our character in the same image. Now this is exactly what we want. So now I just tell it to give me different ones again and again until I have a bunch of images of our character that I like. Now here's another important thing that I want to share with you. So later in this conversation, I tried to tell it to give me other angles and perspectives of our character, and we got these results here. This is definitely not similar to our character. Now all I do to get back to the good results here is to mention that I wrote, this is different from the previous images. Go back and create more of the images from before. And here we go. We're back again. Now we can continue and create more. Alright, once we're done with this part, we can move on to the next one. Now the reason that I like this method is because we start with a bunch of really good illustrations. All that's left now is to create the story. So what we can do here is to write a list and shortly describe the images that we have and feed back to ChatGPT. You can also just upload the illustrations if you want, because ChatGPT can now see with ChatGPT vision. Here I wrote the list manually because I want more control over which images I would like to use for the final book. You can find this prompt in the description if you want to edit it for yourself. I wrote, here is a list describing a bunch of illustrations I have depicting a 9-year-old Asian boy with different expressions and in mid-activities, poses and scenes for children's books. I want you to, based on the illustrations I have, create a story so that I can use these illustrations for the book relating to the story text without needing to change or edit the image. I have Photoshop skills, so adding some minor elements is not a problem, but only if you strongly advise in a specific scene. And then, when I was about to enter the list, I accidentally only added one of the descriptions. I just gave it the rest, so that's not a problem, but it started by creating only one. Now, we take the text from ChatGPT and paste it into Photoshop or Canva to finish the page. Now we continue to do this for all of the illustrations we choose. Since the illustrations only include our main character, I added an extra element to the pages with our text. I see a lot of new books being released on Amazon every day where there is an illustration or image on the page and pure text on the other. To make sure you don't use the same boring layout every time, add something extra that brings the pages together, something that can act as a bridge between the contrast of the text and the illustration page. Here I added some panorama illustrations at the bottom that fits the context and is relevant to the text. In this scene I added a crowd cheering because that is what our character imagines in the text. In this one we have the sky, and here I added an empty colorful classroom because it's about school. Now you can add the background separately if you like it with a colorful background. I used Midjourney to generate the backgrounds. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for watching all the way to the end. Don't forget to like and share your thoughts with me in the comments down below. See you in the next one. Bye.